Hello everyone, I am Dr. Millie and today we will continue with the last topic, that is making of Lewis structure. In last video we have learned making of Lewis structure of the simple compounds, some simple cations and simple anions. But today we will talk something special regarding what? Today, first of all, I am going to break a rule which was given at the time of making of Lewis structure. And what that rule is? This is octet rule. So let us first talk about that rule and who are going to break that rule. That we will understand by taking the example. So I am taking the example of sulfate ion and I am going to tell you what is that rule which is going to be broken by some of the elements in the compound. So let's see. So here I am taking sulfate ion. So let's make the structure of the sulfate ion and then I will let you know what is that rule which we are going to break. Okay. So this is sulfur. I am taking it at the center of the atom. Oxygen, I am connecting with the 4 of the sulfur. And then I am going to count the number of valence shell electron. And obviously because both oxygen and sulfur are belonging to the 16th group, they all will have 6 electrons in the outermost shell. So 30 electrons in their outermost shell. Is it clear? Now next one is this. Because this is a negative ion, we have to mention this number of electron also because this will also be in the valence shell of these atoms. So I am adding 2 electrons more. So it becomes 32 electrons in the valence shell of all the atoms present in the ion. Now let's see what is the bond pair electron. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bond pair electrons. Now lone pair electrons we have to calculate just as we were doing in the last video while making the structure. We are doing the same, that is 32 minus 8 and it remains 24 electrons. Now what we have to do is we have to distribute these 24 electrons in all the oxygen atom present here. So I am doing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. All the oxygens are now satisfied because one bond they are making and 6 electrons are also existing there. So 6 plus 1, 6 electron plus 1 plus 1. So that is 8 electrons are present in the outermost shell of each oxygen atom. Now look at the sulfur. Sulfur is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is also sharing 4 electrons. From one from the oxygen side and one is from the sulfur side. So this is also satisfied. So according to us, this structure should be very satisfied. But this structure is not justified by the experiment. Experiment shows us that lone pair of electrons are being shifted between this and this. What will happen then? 1 bond, 2 bond, 1 bond, 2 bond, oxygen, oxygen. Because they are shifted, there are 2 electrons. So they are left with the 2 lone pair. These are with the 3 lone pairs of electron. These are with the 2 lone pairs of electron, and this oxygen is with 3 lone pair of electrons. Experiment shows that there is double bond between the oxygen and sulfur. 2 bonds are double bonds. How do we know that? We have already told you that the length of the bond, double bond and the length of the single bond is different. So if we see the length of the double bond or between the oxygen and sulfur and the single bond of sulfur and oxygen, we will find that this is bigger and this is smaller. So it is found in the experiments that the bond length of the 2 oxygen and sulfur atoms are bigger and bond length of the 2 oxygen sulfur atoms are smaller. That is why we can predict that this should be the structure, and when this structure is acceptable, when this is going to give their lone pair of electron to this sulfur. But if we accept this structure, we have to see that sulfur is not satisfied. Actually it has gained in this structure more than the electron which it requires. Let's see how it happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. You can see here that sulfur is having 12 electrons in its outermost shell. It is not possible, but data shows us that this is the possibility for the structure. Now how we are going to justify this? The rule which now we are going to break here is that middle atom, that is central atom, can break the octet rule. Break, but it cannot have less than required. They have more than required. That is, it can have more than 8 but not less than 8. So this is the breaking of octet rule. But who is going to break the rule? only the central atom. Now, definitely one thing will be coming in your mind, कि ma'am, these electrons can be shifted to the middle sulfur atom and it can make more and more and more bonds. So why should we not shifting it, these two electrons also in between the sulfur and oxygen? So the reason behind is that how many electrons sulfur is having in its outermost shell? The configuration of sulfur is 8 and 6. So if it is having 6 electrons in the outermost shell, how it is possible for the sulfur to get connected using the 8 electron? If I am shifting these 2 electrons also here, I am showing you what I am trying to say. Sulfur, oxygen, oxygen and oxygen. If I shift these electrons also towards this, between this sulfur and oxygen, then what will happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In this structure, sulfur is using its 8 electron. 8 तो है ही नहीं. Sulfur does not have 8 electrons now. How it is possible for the sulfur to use 8 electrons? That is why we don't predict this structure even. So make sure that if you are shifting electrons, that should also justify the number of valence electron in the outermost shell of that species. Okay? So according to that, if we can have only 2 structures, structure number 1 and the another predicted structure is structure number 2. Now we will understand a very important aspect of these structure, and what is that? The stability of this structure, and we can predict the stability, we can justify the stability using the term called formal charge. So basically this exists and this does not exist can be justified by using the term called formal charge. So we will see first of all formal charge, what formal charge, and then we will take out the formal charge on the different atoms present in both the structure, and then I will tell you how this structure is more stable and this one is not that much. Okay, so let's see. So here we have 2 structures proposed, structure number 1 and structure number 2. Formal charge, let us first understand what is formal charge. Formal charge is a charge which is an assumed charge, it is not actual charge. This formal charge just help us to predict the most stable structure, Lewis structure. Actually it does not exist on the atoms, and do remember it is always mentioned in the covalent bond, and it always considers that covalent bonds are equally distributed between the 2 atoms. So let us see what is formal charge and how to calculate it. So the formula of the formal charge is valence shell electrons in free state minus lone pair electrons minus bond pair electrons divided by 2. This is the formula for calculation of formal charge. So we will be using this formula to calculate the formal charge of each atom present in the ion. Let's find out what is the formal charge of each atom in this formula, and then we will find out the formal charge in each atom in this formula. Okay, so I'm starting it from here one by one. So I'm dividing this board into 2 parts. I'm calculating the formal charge on the sulfur in this molecule. I can draw this here this side now, so that we will get the space now. So I'm drawing this structure here this side. So this is the proposed structure, this is also proposed structure, structure number 1 and structure number 2. Okay, now let's find out the formal charge. The formal charge on the sulfur in this structure I am starting. So the formal charge on sulfur atom in the second molecule. Valence shell electron. How many valence shell electrons are there on the sulfur atom? 6. How many lone pair of electrons you can see in this structure? 0. How many bond pair of electrons you can see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So there are 12 electron bond pair divided by 2. Okay, so it becomes 6 minus 6 and it becomes 0. So the formal charge on this sulfur in this particular structure is 0. So I am mentioning it here. The charge on the sulfur is 0. Now I am taking the formal charge on the oxygen atom which is connected with the double bond. Okay, so this is formal charge of the oxygen connected with double bond. How many outermost shell electrons are there in this oxygen? Obviously that does not change. that is 6. How many lone pair of electrons you can see with this oxygen? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many bond pair of electrons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 divided by 2. So how it becomes? 6 minus 4 minus 2, and it becomes 0. So the formal charge on this oxygen in this particular double bonded oxygen is 0. Now let's take the formal charge. Formal charge of this and this will be same because the bonding pattern is same, lone pair of electrons are same, so obviously these two will have same formal charges on them. So I am writing it here 0. On the other hand side we have this oxygen. Let's find out the oxygen which is bonded with the single bond only. So the formal charge on the another oxygen which is singly bonded with the sulfur is outermost shell electron, obviously 6, lone pair of electron 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, bond pair of electron only 2, so this is 2 by 2, so how it becomes? Minus 1. So the formal charge on this oxygen atom is minus 1. Okay, so obviously this will also contain minus 1 because both of them are of same kind. Okay, so these are the formal charges present in different atoms in this particular molecule. Now let's see what will be the formal charge of these atoms. So I am doing it. So let's find out the formal charge on the sulfur first. So this is formal charge on the sulfur in this particular structure. Number of valence shell electron, obviously 6, it will not change. Lone pair of electrons, we can't see, it is 0. Can you see the bond pair? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 8 divided by 2. So what is the formal charge left out? Plus 2. So this sulfur is having formal charge plus 2. Okay. Now let's find out the formal charge on any of the oxygen atom, because oxygen atom here all are bonded in the same way. Okay. So this is formal charge on oxygen. So this is what? 6 electron in the outermost shell. Every oxygen is having 6 lone pair of electron, and every oxygen is having 2 bonded pairs divided by 2 hoga, and the charge will be minus 1. So I can say that there is minus 1, minus 1, minus 1 and minus 1 charge on each oxygen atom. Now we have to compare the two structures here. Very carefully we have to observe. See, first of all, see what is the overall charge present on this species. You can see there total plus 2 charge is there, total plus 2 charge and minus 4 charge. So how it comes out as minus 2. So we know that the sulfur is having minus 2 charge on it. Justified? Okay. Here also we can see that overall 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus minus 1 minus 1. So overall this also says that this is having minus 2 charge on it. Both are justifying the formula. Now we have to see which out of these two will be more stabilized. According to formal charge concept, the structure which shows minimum charge distribution and which is having minimum charge on the different atoms present in the structure, that structure is very stabilized. So we can see here that only 2 atoms here are having minus 1 in this structure. On the other hand side, this structure is showing plus 2 charge on one sulfur, and rest of the atoms are also having charges on them. So the concept of formal charge justifies the structure which is observed by the experiments, and that is this second number structure. So I hope it is now somewhat clear to you. Now let us do one more example taking the same concept so that you can understand it completely. Okay, let's do it. Now taking example of SCN minus, that is thiocyanide ion. Very good example, thiocyanide ion, SCN minus. And I am going to write down the structure, different structure of this thiocyanide ion. Here I am taking this carbon as a central atom. The reason is we cannot select the least one because carbon, hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen and sulfur, all of them are 1 1 in the number, but we can select the elements which is least electronegative in nature. So the least electronegative element is carbon. So I am taking this carbon as a central atom. Okay, so this is carbon here. I am connecting it with the nitrogen and sulfur. Okay, now count the total number of valence shell electron here. The total number of valence shell electrons 6 plus 4 plus 5 and 1. So how it is? total 16 electron in the outermost shell of the atom present in the ion. So total number of bond pair electrons 4 electrons. Now lone pair of electrons 16 minus 4, it becomes 12 electrons. So I am going to distribute 12 electrons from the nitrogen to the oxygen. I am leaving the carbon because it will be taken care of at the last. So what I am doing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 12 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now look at nitrogen and sulfur and see whether their octet are completed or not. And their octet are completed. 6 plus 2, 8. 6 plus 2, 8. But look at the carbon now. Carbon is not having its octet completed. So I have to complete its octet by shifting of electrons from the nitrogen, or I can go for sulfur also. So I am shifting here this lone pair of electron between the carbon and nitrogen. So this is double bond here. Still it is not satisfied. So what I am doing is, so I am shifting this lone pair also. This is the one possibility. This is one possibility. Let's see what I could have done. This is structure number 1. Now let's see what I could have done. Sulfur, carbon, nitrogen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I could have done, one I can shift from the nitrogen side. So I could have placed the double bond between nitrogen and carbon. One I could have shifted from the sulfur side. So I could have made the double bond between sulfur and carbon also. This is also possible. Now these all are satisfied with their 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Done. So this is structure number 2. Now one more structure could be possible, and that could be, I could have shifted, as in this case I have shifted both the lone pair to the between the carbon and nitrogen. Now same way can I shift both the lone pair of the sulfur between the carbon and sulfur? So this is gone, one bond pair, this is gone, and one bond pair. So I could have these possible structures, so that each atom here is satisfied atom, but we have to select which one is the most stable one, and that we will do using the formal charge concept. So let's apply the formal charge concept faster. So here I am dividing this, and I am taking out the formal charges on the sulfur first. So let's take the formal charge. Valence shell electrons. How many valence shell electrons are there? 6. Lone pair of electrons 6. Bond pair electrons 2 divided by 2. So total charge comes out as -1. Okay. So there is one charge negative on this sulfur. Okay. Let's move to the next one. Formal charge on carbon. Total number of valence shell electrons 4. Lone pair of electrons 0. Bond pair of electrons 8 divided by 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So 8 divided by 2. So what is the answer? 0. So the formal charge of the carbon in this structure is 0. Now let's take the nitrogen. Formal charge on nitrogen is, what is the number of valence shell electron in the nitrogen? 5. What is the lone pair electron? 2. What is the bond pair? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 divided by 2. So it becomes 0. 5 minus 2 minus 3. So this is 0. So you can see here the formal charge on the carbon, sulfur and nitrogen are these in this particular structure. Okay? Now let's take the formal charges on these particular atoms in this structure. So formal charge on sulfur. Find out total number of electrons 6 fixed rahenge. Bond lone pair of electrons we can see how many are there? 4. Bond pair of electrons 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 divided by 2. So it becomes 6 minus 6, that is 0. So the formal charge here on the sulfur is 0. Take out the formal charge on the carbon. Total number of carbon electrons 4 rahenge, that is fixed. Lone pair of electron 0 hai, no lone pair of electron. Bond pair of electron 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 divided by 2 and it becomes 0. So the bond pair of so this is the formal charge on this carbon. Let's take one more. We have one more atom, that is nitrogen. So find it for it. Total number of electron 5. Lone pair 4. Bond pair 4 divided by 2. So this becomes 5 minus 6. So 5 minus 6 becomes -1. So the -1 is the charge present in the nitrogen. Let's do the same for this particular molecule. So the formal charge on the sulfur in this molecule, total number of valence shell electron always 6. Bond pair 2. lone pair, 2 bond pair, 6 divided by 2, so it becomes plus 1. So the formal charge on the sulfur in this structure is plus 1. Okay, now the formal charge on carbon, okay, this becomes 4 in the outermost shell, valence shell, lone pair of electrons 0, bond pair of electrons 8 divided by 2, so that is 0. So the formal charge here on the carbon is 0. ठीक है, now let's see नाइट्रोजन पे कितने हैं. नाइट्रोजन is outermost shell electron 5. How many lone pairs are there? 6. How many bond pairs are there? That is 2 divided by 2. So it becomes 5 minus 6 minus 1. That is minus 1. Minus 2, sorry. So this becomes minus 2. Okay, let's find out the overall charge. Thiocyanide ion. You can see here minus 1, 0, 0. Total charge minus 1. 0, 0, minus 1. Total charge minus 1. 0 plus 1 and minus 2. Total overall charge minus 1. So all the structures are justifying the charge present on it. Now which is the best one? This is already cancelled out because this is having more charges in its atom in this structure. So that is why this is discarded completely. Now we have a competition, we have a tie between these two. So among these two, which one is the better? Because in these two structures, two of the atoms are having 0, 0 and one of the atom is having minus 1. Now we have to concentrate on this part. In this structure number 1, the minus 1 charge is on the sulfur. In structure number 2, the minus 1 charge is on the nitrogen. And we know that the nitrogen is more electronegative than the sulfur. So the structure in which minus charge is on the nitrogen will be more justified. That is why structure number 2 is the correct Lewis structure. So this is the correct Lewis structure for the thiocyanide ion. So I hope now you can predict what are the best Lewis structure for any of the species, whether it is positive or it is negative or it is neutral. I hope now it is very clear to you that why we use formal charge concept and how we are going to utilize the formal charge concept. So I hope this video will be helpful for you to understand the basic concept of the making of Lewis structure. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your friends and please comment also. Thank you.